Hi everyone, welcome back to episode 3 of the ScratchJr Basics tutorials. I hope you made some fantastic looking characters and backgrounds in the previous episode. Today we're going to have a little bit of a shorter lesson, and we're going to have a look at something called the repeating block. And the repeating block is such a handy tool, and you're going to use it all the time when you are using ScratchJr to make your lives a lot easier. So before we get started, make sure that you are on this starting screen. If you're on one of the other two screens, come back to this one so we're all starting in the same place. So once you've done that, come down to the house and click on that. And then we're going to start a new project today. So press on the piece of paper with a little plus button in it. And here we are. We should be getting pretty familiar with this by now. So what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to delete Scratch the Cat. So you can either hold your finger on top of Scratch the Cat in here in your scene, or in the little character menu over here, until you get the red X. There it is. We're going to delete Scratch the Cat. And now I would like you to input a new character. And so you can either place the character that you made in the previous episode in, or you can just pick something from the menu. So come up to the plus button here and we'll press it. And I'm going to pick my little afro crab that I made last time. Feel free to scroll all the way down with your finger and find one that you like, or again, choose the one that you made last time. I'm going to pick this little afro crab, and I'm going to come up here and press the tick. So now that we have our character in our scene, we're kind of going to do what we did in the first lesson, but I'm just going to teach you about the repeating block. So let's drag our character down to the bottom left hand corner of the scene, and we're going to make it so that the crab goes from the left hand side of the scene to the right, and then up to the top, back to the left, and then back down. So let's do that, and we should all kind of remember the numbers. From memory, I think it was 16 across. And then I think it was 10 up, and then 16 back to the left, and 10 back down. So let's run it and watch the character go around the scene by pressing the green flag. Remember, try not to press the green flag down here. It's a really good habit to get into, to press it up here. So let's press it and see what happens. I'm just going to reset the scene quickly. I'm not sure if you saw it, but the crab's leg got cut off a tiny little bit down here on the bottom right. So I'm just going to change it to 15 and then 15 on the way back. And that should work just fine. So now, if we wanted this character to go around and around the screen multiple times, we could do it the really slow way, where we could duplicate this code. So we just start again from the start. So we want it to go right again, so we could add the right block, and we could put 15 in there, and then we could make it go up again, and it's just taking too long. I want to be extra lazy today, so we are going to use the repeat block, and the repeat block can be found here in the orange blocks, and we haven't looked at the orange blocks before, so I'd like you to click on there. And the repeat block is this one here. It's quite a large looking block, and it will actually, I think, if we come down here, yep, there you go, it will wrap around the code that you already have. So I'm just going to place it back up there for a second. So if we already have a line of code in here and we want to repeat it, we can just simply drag the repeat block down and over it, and you'll see the gray shadow that pops up around the blue movement block. So if we drop the repeat block now, you can see that the repeat block has fit all the way around our movement code that we've placed down. And so now it's actually going to repeat 4 times, and we know that it's going to repeat the code 4 times because it has a little 4 in this box here. So let's make sure that that's correct, and we'll come up here and click the flag. I might just speed this up a little bit so you don't get too bored. And there we go. So you can see that my character, this crab, went around the scene 4 times, and we could change this number to 2, or we could change it to 10, or we could change it to 99 even by pressing in here, and it would go around the scene 99 times. And I'm not sure why you would ever want it to go that long. I think your audience may get a little bit bored. So try and stick with something a little bit reasonable, like something under 10 is normally pretty good. So what we're going to do with this today is we are going to make a fish tank. So if you think about fish, they kind of just go back and forth in a fish tank and maybe up and down. And so using this repeat block is really handy so that we don't need to keep putting heaps of code into the fish to tell them to go back and forth and back and forth and up and down, up and down. It just does it for you with the repeat block. So again, it's quite a simple lesson. I will just show you the basics and then I'll let you continue on and finish it off yourself. So let's delete the code that we have in here, and we're going to delete the character that we have in here. And the first thing that we need for a fish tank or an aquarium is something that looks like a fish tank or an aquarium. So let's come up to the background button up here and we'll click on it. And there's one in here that looks pretty wonderful for a fish tank, and it's this background here. It looks like a little bit of an aquarium scene or an underwater scene. So let's click on that. We'll come up and press the tick. Again, if you want to edit any of the colors of any of the coral or the seaweed, you can click on the paintbrush and use the paint bucket to change those, but I'm just going to leave mine as it is, so I'll press the tick. And then I'm going to come over to the character menu and press the plus button. And I need to find a fish. Here are some fish right here. I'm just going to add this green fish and then press the tick. Again, you can change the colors if you'd like. And so I'm just going to make this green fish go back and forth from the left to the right, to the left to the right. And so we'll get the flag. I will put in my left and my right, and to go right I'll make it go maybe 10 is good, and then back to the left 10. And so if I ran that now, the fish would go to the right, back to the left. And so we want that to continue. It's an aquarium, just something nice to look at. So let's go to the orange blocks. We'll get this repeat block. And because it's an aquarium and I'd like to go for quite a long time, I'll just change it to 10. There we go. I'm just going to stop it there. You know what's going to happen. And I'll reset my scene. There we go. So you can go ahead now and add in other fish if you'd like to. You could add in maybe like a little filter and some bubbles that go up. That would be pretty cool. There's one really quick thing that I wasn't going to do in this video, but I'll show you anyway, and it's to do with changing the size of your characters. So if I wanted to have a really big fish, I can come down to these purple blocks down here, and you'll see these 3 blocks here. And what they do is they change the size of your character. So this person here is quite big, and this person here is quite small, and this one here is just kind of in the middle. So if I drag this block down, and I'm not attaching it to my code, I'm just putting it off to the side, and I press on that with my finger, you'll see that the fish is getting bigger and bigger, and if I click on it really fast, I can make it huge. I have to put it in the middle. Obviously that's a little bit too big, so I'm going to shrink it down, and so I'm going to use this one with the small person. I'm just going to drag that out to the side again, and you can just click on that. There you go. So you can change the size of your characters, and in this case we're going to be changing the size of our fish and our sea life, or our aquarium life, and you can do that by using these purple blocks here. And when you're done with them, you can just simply put them back up into the block area, and there you go. So go ahead, make a fish tank, have fun with it. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. I'll see you in the next one.